All right. Okay, here we go. Well, good morning, everybody. And as usual, this is the first of the month, the first of March, and a leap year, which we've just had an extra day yesterday. So as always, the slaughterhouse of failure is not in our destiny. We shall persevere until we succeed. Or the slaughterhouse of failure is in our destiny if we quit. Simple. If you quit, you fail. That's all it is. That's the only way you can fail at this is if you quit. So we're going to talk about taking action. And the subject is taking action. So Dan, if you want, you can start because I've got a little twist on what we talked about yesterday. So go ahead with your beginning with the action, and then we'll discuss that a little bit because I've got a little twist on it.
All right. So, we talk a lot about taking massive action, and you've all heard Grant Cardone and Tony Robbins and others talk about taking massive action. But, what does that really mean? And to take massive action, you have to design your action. What steps are you going to take? What's your goal? What steps are you going to take to reach that? How long are you willing to sustain that massive action? And how long are you willing to follow the same course to reach that goal, even when things aren't going great, even when you're seeing failures and moving past those failures to succeed at whatever it is, whatever your goal may be. In doing a little bit of research, I saw a paragraph that there's a long list of successful founders of major companies who dropped out of college. People like Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, Jack Dorsey, founder of Square, co-founder of Twitter, John Mackey, co-founder of Whole Foods. These people all dropped out of college. And why was that? Because they had a goal, they had a passion, and they wanted to chase that passion. They didn't want to be impeded by just learning about something. They knew what they wanted to do, and they went out and they took massive action to get where they wanted to be. Learning's great, but a lot of times people tend to intellectualize that information. Lawrence calls it mental constipation. They intellectualize that information instead of taking the action required to reach their goals. In business and in life, successful results are created by taking this massive action and consistently taking consistent action. It's not like there's a secret formula for success. It's just taking action. Execution, which is action, is where the rubber meets the road, but it's also where a lot of people fall short. So I have a great example of that. In my other business, I had a rep that I gave an account to about a year ago, and we went and did a lunch with some of the physicians, and everything was going great, and they wanted to utilize the product, and the rep lives 20 minutes away from this account. I live 2 hours away from the account. So, it was obviously more convenient for him to take that action to go in and see them consistently, which he ended up not doing. And so we got a couple of orders and then it all stopped. So for the last year, we've had nothing. So January 1st of this year, I said, okay, I'm done. He's done. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's not taking action. Not only is he not taking massive action, he's taking no action. And this is a guy who was in a W-2 for a company, doesn't like corporate America, wants to get away from it, wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to do his own thing. Reached out to me for an opportunity, and he wasn't willing to take that action. Fast forward a couple of weeks, I started going in to see the account, see the physicians, talk to the providers, and we're getting consistent orders. I'm stopping in there consistently on a consistent basis to say hello and build that trust and build that relationship and just be there, taking action, which he was unwilling to do. And he gave up a very significant income by not being willing to drive 20 minutes, take 5-10 minutes out of his day and say hello to some people. And so, nothing happens if you don't take any action, right? But if you're not willing to take massive action by doing the things that most people aren't willing to do, you're not going to be successful.
All right. So that's what I wanted Dan to kind of give the preamble, because it's about action, but behind the action is, why would you take action? So, for example, we're talking about the people that all dropped out of college, and they were not stereotypes and interested in just the safe environment, cocoon type of progress from a college. You go to college, you get your degree, and you get a job and all this kind of stuff. And they were not interested in that. They had other ulterior, fundamental reasons for doing things. And that's what inspires us to take action. So, for example, anything that we do, there has to be something that motivates, inspires, or goads us, or incites us into taking action. Otherwise, yeah, we can take action, we can take a massive action, but it has to be inspired and driven by passion. So, for example, I just want to give a couple of examples. There was a little video on that I saw years ago about a train. I think it was in New York, and they had a whole bunch of people on this train, and a couple of what I would call hooligans, but you guys would all call I don't know, bad news people, just thugs. 3 or 4 of them actually got on this train, and they started to pick on people on this train trip. And they picked, first of all, they picked on a homeless guy, and they started to set his beard on fire and pour, their drinks on him and rough him up and so on. And nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. They just were there. And then they picked on an elderly guy, and they took his briefcase and they spewed his papers all over the train. And again, no one said anything. But there was a Marine on the plane, on the train, who had his leg was in plaster. He was in a cast, but he was a Marine there on the train. And he watched, and everybody was there watching these thugs. And they picked on the homeless guy, they picked on the old guy, then they picked on a young girl, and they started to humiliate her. And at a certain moment, the Marine was on the train, got inspired to say, enough already. Even though he had his leg in plaster, he got up and he took these 3 thugs on. And they beat the hell out of him. But it was there that action took place from the rest of the people that finally took some action. They were motivated to see something because they felt it they felt it. This was wrong. This guy's standing up for someone. Where are we? Why are we not doing something? Why are we just sitting there? So there was an inspiration for them to do that. There was some reason for them to do that. There was another one that we saw ourselves about, I don't know, probably 3 years ago or more. There were a couple of Marines on a train in France, and they were on a train in France touristing and so on, and the terrorists got on with a whole bunch of arms and everything on the train, and these guys saw this, and they were immediately inspired to take action, and they took this guy down. If you remember, it was a big news, and they took this guy down. He could have blown up the whole train, shot hundreds of people, but there was something that motivated, that inspired, that prompted the action. And we talk about this all the time. We talk about, we look for the pain. We're looking for the pain of the people. So, for example, we look for, the pain of money, or the pain of time, or the pain of stress. These are obvious ones. But if we then understand that we can talk to someone and touch that nerve of pain, which is either money or time or stress, And and I joke about it and I say, I take out a big samurai and I stick it in the wound and I dig it around and until it's very painful. But that's where we can inspire people to take action. For example, we have parents, that may be living in a street and the kids are playing on the street and the people drive by very fast. So they're inspired to take action and get the city to put a speed bump. I'm talking ridiculous things, but I'm saying that the action has to be inspired and motivated. There has to be a motivation and an inspiration for us to take action. And this is where we can, in our business, when we know what we've got as a business, we know we have an amazing business and we know the amazing company that we've got that backs us. And then we look at all the people that we're talking to and we can say, my goodness, I think I can help this person reach his or her maximum level of commitment according to his or her values of work, principles of work. And this is where it becomes exciting. But all we got to do is find the pain and then be able to motivate the person into taking action. So it's all about motivation, inspiration, finding the pain and getting the people to themselves motivate, because then you don't have to push anybody. They will automatically work for themselves. Like Dan was talking about this guy that he led him to the water, but the guy didn't want to drink. He showed them the customers he had. They had a first meeting there, but the guy wasn't motivated to take action. He was obviously in a comfort zone of mediocrity, and by being in that comfort zone of mediocrity, he wasn't inspired to get any further. So the point I'm trying to make is that action, 100%, we need to look at that. But we need to find the motivation for people to take the action, the reason, the inspiration. Somebody just needs a kick in the gluteus maximus to take action. Some of them do, but others don't. Like the ones that we just mentioned, all the guys who dropped out of college, started Whole Foods and Steve Jobs and all these other guys that started these incredible companies.
Yeah, and you talk about pain. Pain's a very needed force for a lot of us to exact change or to take massive action, or one of my favorite topics, sacrifice. And the level of pain that somebody has may be directly correlated to the amount of sacrifice they're willing to make, because nothing comes without making sacrifices, right? If you're going to take massive action, you're going to have to sacrifice different things in your life to take that massive action and to reach your goals. I read, everybody here has heard about the 80-20 rule. 80% of our time should be spent taking actions directly towards driving our target towards our target objectives, right? We have that, and that's part of massive action. 80%, think about that. 80% of our time should be spent toward reaching our target objectives. That's a massive amount of time. So to be able to do that, you have to take massive action. You have to be willing to sacrifice certain things to reach those target objectives. So what is it that you're willing to sacrifice? What is that pain level that you've reached that you're willing to sacrifice certain things to get what you want, to reach your goals, to go across the finish line, reaching your target objectives? Where in your life or in your company are you intellectualizing information instead of taking that required action to pursue whatever that passion is for you, right? And this starts with the leadership of any company, right? You have to be setting the tone. You have to be setting the course. You have to be setting the direction. Company leadership in a company should be taking the most action, and they need to really be evangelists for the brand. If you look at, Pharmanex Nu Skin, everybody there, every time you hear something from somebody, it's always a really positive message, hopeful message. The people that work there are vibrant, they're vivacious, they're trying to get that message across and show their passion. You need to be the brand. You really do if you want to be successful. So an example of that is, let's say there's a weight loss company and they have, the CEO of the company is 300 pounds. And, that's not a really good look for the brand. And if you look at Nu Skin Pharmanex, that doesn't show that their product is working, right? If he's not willing to utilize the product to lose weight and show that the product actually works, then people aren't going to follow that brand, right? And if you notice at Nu Skin Pharmanex, everybody walks the walk, right? They're taking the supplements, they're living a healthy lifestyle. They're doing all the things that they need to do because they believe in the brand, they believe in the purpose, they believe they have the passion for the company. And those are the types of people that are attracted to that company. So, we need to start taking massive action in attracting the right people to our business. There's people that are passionate. There's people that are willing to take massive action. There's people that have so much pain from the corporate world, or making other people money, or watching other people live the lifestyle that they want, that they're willing to sacrifice certain things to reach those target objectives.
That's where I would split the hair with you, Dad. Because, for example, when we talk about sacrifice, we talk about pain. Those are in the same page, pain and sacrifice. Now, if you're in pain, and like you say in the corporate world, what I like to do is to highlight that pain till it becomes a gushing, bleeding hemorrhage. And the person says, oh, my goodness, you're quite right. Enough. I've had enough of this pain. So then you offer an alternative, which is an inspiration for the person to do and take control of his or her life himself. And that becomes something that is a willing thing to do. It's something that they're willing to do, is to take action for themselves and to work for themselves and not for somebody else. So the pain that we've shown them will actually help them. And it's not a sacrifice. What is the sacrifice? The sacrifice is when you feel you're missing something, when you feel you've got a problem, oh, I've got to give this up. On the other hand, if you're achieving something because you're on the right path, that's not a sacrifice. That's just a pleasure. It's a wonderful thing because you're on the path of your life, and it's no longer a sacrifice. So I think the definition of a sacrifice is something that is painful to you. But on the other hand, if you're willing to understand that you've given up a painful thing over there, and now you can find some solace, some solution in something that gives you passion, something that you love to do. And this is why we've got to sort and sift who we work with. We don't want people that are going to be, unwilling to take care of their own lives, to take the reins of their lives in their own hands. And by doing that, that's when we get people who are motivated, look at all the people that are on this call. Nobody's paying them to be on. Nobody pays them to be on the calls. Nobody pays them to follow a system, because they've chosen to do it. We've all chosen to do something, and we've understood that this is an avenue where we can achieve certain things. And it isn't a pain. It's not a sacrifice anymore, because it's not painful to do this. We're leaving the pain behind by not working for somebody else, by not having to do something, by not having, by looking to the possibilities of having better income, better time management, less stress, have more fun. I mean, honestly, I can honestly say that I absolutely love what I do, and I have fun doing it, because it's a solution rather, and it's not a sacrifice, it's a solution.
Yeah, and and you're not wrong. Sacrifice and pain are very similar. And what you're talking about is we're replacing what some people perceive as a negative, a pain or sacrifice with by taking massive action and reaching our goals or reaching certain milestones towards reaching our target objectives. We're replacing the pain of sacrifice or pain itself with a positive, right? By reaching these goals and reaching these target objectives. Going back to intellectualizing the information, intellectualizing how you're going to develop your business, intellectualizing your goals, and not taking action towards reaching those goals. Mike Cook, I believe, is on the call, or he was on the call. Arturo Lozano is a perfect example. He took a year and a half looking at Pharmanex and their products before he dove in, got the scanner, and now he's been using it for years with his patients. And he believes in it, but he was intellectualizing that for too long, just to satisfy his medical curiosity, let's call it, to make sure that it was real, to make sure that the science was there and the technology, the innovation, all of those things. So don't let intellectualizing your propensity to intellectualize things stunt your growth and keep you from reaching your goals. Take massive action. Take any action, and that action will build on itself to reach your goals.
Yeah, so the procrastination or the inaction, each personality that we have, that we talk to, is different. Some people are very, very thorough. They need to know every detail about everything that goes on. I mean, we all have an iPhone, we all have a phone, a mobile phone. I haven't got a clue how the thing works. I haven't got a clue, but I use it. We all use it. We don't need to know exactly how everything works if we use it. And Arturo, as an example, is a very, very thorough medical specialist, and he needed to know for his own gratification to be able to impart this information to the patients. We don't need to do that. We've got 85 scientists. We are asked a question about some technical thing. Oh, pick up the phone and make a call and say, hey, I haven't got it. What is the viscosity of this product as opposed to that? So we don't need to know everything. So procrastination or not moving forward is a personality thing that we can, again, help people overcome that by showing them that it's not something they need to hold on to.
Can I say something?
No, absolutely not. Of course.
I have to get off here because I actually have a phase 2 at 10, and I'm speaking with an optometrist who reached out to me, who is an ocular surgeon. I'm talking to him at noon. So I have a busy day, but I did want to say, I can attest to everything you're saying because you guys put me in check that day when I was having those struggles. And ever since you put me in check and told me don't focus on the money, focus on what I'm doing, my mindset, everything has changed. I have 10 in the pipeline.
Whoa.
I have a girl that her father is a dermatologist, and we've been speaking. I find out she's from my hometown. My sister went to school with her mother, who's an esthetician at this dermatology clinic. They serve 10 counties. Her and her dad are both getting scanners this week.
Wow.
So she works for her father. I have had chiropractors reach out to me on LinkedIn. His name is Dr. Pappas. He's getting ready to come on board. He's already spoke with me and Dr. K. I mean, things have just made a major turnaround. And I just want to thank you for putting me in check because I did have some serious struggles in the beginning, and I totally changed my mindset, and everything's rolling my way. And this is going to be fabulous. I believe in this. I love it. I'm getting my husband involved in it, and it's just been fabulous. So thank you.
Melanie, thank you, because what you've just said is the reason for which we do these calls. The reason we do these calls is because we want people to take their own potential to the next level. And by you doing that, that is the reward. There's no monetary reward for us, but there is a huge, I don't call it moral, but there's a psychological reward for us being able to be on these calls and see that somebody that is helping people. So
I
kudos
left
for
my
you.
position. I left my position. I'm doing this full time. The money might not be there now, but I know it's coming and I just have to wait that out. And I'm good with it. I'm at peace with it. And I've been reading the books, using all the tools, doing my own phase 1 calls now, but I do have a call at 10. So I need to get off here, but thank you so much.
Good job. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Keep
Bye.
going.
Awesome. Great job. We're making an impact, Lawrence.
That's huge. I love that. That's huge. Has anybody got anything else they want to add? I think we're almost on time. Where are we?
Yeah, we're 3 minutes. If anybody
Couple of
has
minutes.
anything
Good.
else.
Anybody got anything else to add?
Yeah, I got
Lawrence.
something to add here. Being a vet or out in the actual field. So what I want to challenge everyone to do when you get off the call, get out of the house. There's no money in your house. There's no money on your ass. Get off your asset and go to work. So we're in the field. We've already done 3 clinics
Yes.
and we're out presenting. So I challenge all of you when you hang up, get out of the house and go do some work. Get your asset to work. That's my new word, asset.
Amen.
Assets.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah, this is John. And I have a little bit of a background like Dan's coming from medical sales and so forth, but I think we have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable and be humble and honest that, like, hey, like ask for help when you need it and don't think you can do it on your own. Because even though we're sometimes specialists in one field, you can't do it in another one. And, you just have to be aggressive and kind of like what Vince always says, just give up something for a whole year. Just do it, say, hey, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, go from there and just give everything you can. You'll be surprised what you get. So thanks. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And for example, Vince, think about Vince. He's having a time of his life. He's touring around, he's swanning all over the country, working, but he's having fun. That's what this is about. Find your passion in life, whatever it is. If this is a business that inspires you, whether it's for yourself to lose weight, like for example, Dan was talking about the guy selling diet or what it was, weight loss products, who weighs 300 pounds, example. That's incongruent. But if that guy who weighs 300 pounds uses his product and he suddenly weighs, and it's a weight loss thing, and he weighs, the ideal weight with the BMI and all the rest of it, he's going to be inspired to love what he's doing, what he's selling, what he's promoting. That's what this is about. We are inspired by selling and by having people purchase something that we know can help them. It's not about selling, it's about getting people to purchase. Big difference between selling and somebody buying. Somebody will buy from you if they believe you. That's where trust comes in. And we have all that. We have the integrity. We have the company that has never failed us. I've been in this business for about 17 years. I've never once had an issue with a problem of integrity with a company. Put your money on it, man. It'll work. It works.
Put your money on product. You better scan in the purple. Every place I go, the first thing they go is, what are you scanning? I love putting my hand on the scanner and it goes to purple. And they just kind of look. We signed up one the other day with Caitlin and the guy scanned in the yellow. I was like, well, watch this. Put my hand, he go on the purple and he lost it. He's like, why am I in the yellow and you're in the purple? And I was like, well, let's get out. And we sold him a LifePak Nano. So if you're not in the purple or blue, you're not in this business. If you can't put your hand on the scanner and validate your own system, then what are you doing?
And a little tip with that for everybody, exactly the same thing I did yesterday, because I preempted Vince's advice about getting off my asset here in my house. And I went and I scanned, I went to a clinic and there were 2 doctors there and it was 4 o'clock and I went and I scanned them. And one of them was 16 in the red and the other one was 24, both doctors. And they said, well, what do you score? So I said, well, hold on, put your name on. So I put the woman the score was 16,000. And I put my hand on. and it was 77,000. And she said, "Oh my God." I said, "I'm only doing this to show you the veracity, the validity of the device, and that the products work." Checkmate. Checkmate, done. When can I get it? That's it. It's that simple. It's not easy, but it's that simple.
Vincent, hey
You
guys.
don't need to go run around all over the country. There's scanners waiting to be placed within 30 miles of your house. I don't care where you live.
Yes, yes. That's something that we've just decided as well. Instead of having, you see, Vince is enjoying this because he's got his new van, and he's now showing this thing to himself and all that. But Vince has decided to have scanners in every state and in probably every country and every city of the planet. That's fine. But if you take a radius of 5 miles where you live, if you're in a city, or 10 miles if you're in a sort of a rural area, you will see that there are many physicians and healthcare professionals and gyms and spas and everything else in that area around you, where you can just take off a little while and go for half an hour and an hour from you take a break and go and do some scans and go and have some fun with people around you. So it's close by. You don't have to go all over the planet.
Hello.
Anything
Yes,
else?
go ahead.
Hey guys, my name's Ahmed and Raula. I am part of the family now. Vince and Yvette basically did the same thing to me. They're like, I wanted to scan, and I was like, I'm going to be optimal. I'm going to be the best. And then I scanned myself, and I'm like, oh no. How do I get one of those? And then I got one of those. And then I realized what this beautiful piece of technology is. And then I realized my own background in my family. And I was like, oh my goodness. And Lauren said it best. You got to have fun doing it, because people are actually interested in you and your story, because it's emotion. It ties into emotion, and they want to know, how are you healthy? You have to be your own guinea pig. And that's what I do. And you have to spread the wealth, because it's health. That's the only thing we have, and it's finite. So we have to push it to the maximum potential, and you have to have fun with it. There's chiropractic offices, PT, go, just walk in. Be like, hey, have you guys seen this before? No, what's that? And then bring in the cavalry if you need to. And the help is on the way with the phone call. It's awesome. My cousin is the largest orthopedic surgeon in Michigan. He owns all the Insight clinics, and he loves me, and we have a meeting, and then we're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm so excited to be part of this beautiful team. I just wanted to introduce myself and just tell everybody here how fascinating this technology is. And the more you go into it, it's a lot, because it's a lot of information, and then it's a rabbit hole. And then if you don't have that intellectual capacity, then take a break, because it's a lot. Condense it. That's how I learn. I take little short breaks and take little doses, and then just have fun with it. Because the moment you stop having fun is the moment you stop learning, for me. And I love it. So thank you.
Hey
Awesome.
guys, I met
to have you.
Ahmed at a coffee shop on a random Tuesday, and it's been history since then.
I was getting on her to do her 2 exposures a day, not in the LinkedIn, get out of the house and go 2 exposures. She went to a coffee house, and like 30 minutes later met Ahmed.
Yep.
And now he's on the
Awesome.
team with the scanner.
And there are no coincidences, because Yvette's cousin is my best friend, like best friend. I have dinner there, and she's like, no way. She's like, no way. How? He never lets anybody in his home. And then I'm like, FaceTime him. And then she's like, oh my God. And then I'm like, order me the device right now.
That's awesome.
Not even a weekend.
Wow.
Awesome.
Good
Great
job.
story.
Excellent.
Welcome
Love it.
welcome to the
Story
team,
sell.
Ahmad.
Story sell, facts tell. It's all about the story. Good job.
All right, Lawrence, well, you want to wrap it up?
Anybody else? Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Blessings. Have a good month. Start today. Don't start on the 25th. Start today and work your assets off as early as possible during the month, so that at the end of the month you can relax and just have just nothing. Just relax. Don't worry about it. So thanks everybody for being on the call. Blessings to you. Cheers.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Get off your assets.
Thank you.